Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dort Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. We're here in Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli for the San Marino GP of round 15 of our career mode. So starting in pole position is of course Grant with Oliveira and Marquez on the front row, Binder, Zarco and Quattararo in the second, Bagnaia, Miller, Morbidelli, Martin, Espargaro, Mir, Rins, Vinales, Nakagami, Espargaro, Rossi, Petrucci, Lecco, Zavadori, Bastianini, Marquez and Marini at the back of the grid. So we'll start in pole position, the best possible position to start from when this wonderful Grand Prix, and away we go. I didn't even mention the lights, but don't worry, you already know what's going to happen. Bring on the power, get into turn one, into the whole shot position, and we're going to try and lead this one from the best possible position. But look at the KTMs there. Oliveira is now into the lead. Binder's there on the right hand side as well, so must be careful of the South African, but Miguel Oliveira temporarily leads. Is the man on the Aprilia is going to dive for the inside. Oliveira very strong, but a little bit out of shape as he gets too close to the left hand side there. Goodness me, that was an interesting start. I didn't think Miguel Oliveira was going to just let go and just let me get through. He was not going to just relinquish the position, but we did manage to get on through, and now Grant leads in the best position possible for this wonderful Misano Grand Prix. Going into Quercia, we're down by half a second, or sorry, Miguel Oliveira's down a half a second to us. We're up by 0.4 of a second already in the very, very early stages of this Grand Prix, and I tell you what, this could be one of those Grand Prix where we can bolt and say sayonara, TTFN, ciao for now to the other guys. We'll see you at the finish line in about 9 laps time. This could be one of those races. This could very well be the dominant performance we showed in Sachsenring and in Le Mans a long time ago. I guess most of the Sachsenring we did have to do a bit of a battle, but especially in Le Mans, where we really took over at the front and just disappeared from the rest of the guys and didn't even see any single bit of challenge from there on out. But for the time being, up by 0.4 of a second, Miguel Oliveira and Binder still there somewhat. Not too far behind. You can still see him on the graphic in the bottom left hand corner of your screen. Marquez and Zarco, Quattararo, Bagnaia and Miller, all championship protagonists, or at least you would have thought so early on in the season. So far it's down to just 3. Grant, Zarco, Bagnaia, and not necessarily in that order. That's just simply in this particular race right now. Zarco in 5th position, who's had a terrible, terrible Grand Prix last time out in Aragon, of course, crashing out, almost relinquishing his championship lead to Pecco Bagnaia, but for his sake, he didn't have to. Pecco Bagnaia still in 2nd place in the World Championship standings as things stand, but for us this could be absolutely huge. We could really churn out some wonderful points here and take away some valuable, valuable championship points away from Johan Zarco. I'm rather looking forward to this one. And of course we just need to manage the tyres. That's all we got to do in these warmer temperatures here in Misano. It's going to be a little bit of a different video, I think, because I think we're going to be able to get to the front and just disappear. I might be proven wrong, who knows. Maybe Oliveira's going to just chuck in some ridiculous lap times, but let's just stay calm, let's stay focused. We have a second lead now. You know what I always say when we get a second lead? You break the resolve of the person in 2nd position. Let's hope that's exactly what happens here today, so we can get to the front, or at least we're already in the front, or just stay in the front and just disappear from the riders behind. So using the medium front and medium rear as mentioned, of course, and I did consider trying a hard option front. I don't know whether I started the race and then restarted it, because I have to restart every single race due to the way that the lap times don't show. I don't know if you guys have ever had this issue, but as you can see in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, I did get a 1:31.297 as the fastest lap of the race. Sometimes if that doesn't show, just restart the race and it should work fine. I have to restart the race every single time I start a race because it doesn't show up the first time. So if you do the start, restart the race and then go for it, it'll always be there. That's how I tend to do it anyway. So sometimes if the graphic's wrong, that's probably why you'll see it. But so far, so good. Up into the 1st position, of course. Up by a second now, Oliveira, Binder, but I don't like what's just happened there. Zarco and Bagnaia just swapping positions with Marquez and Miller. They are now in 4th and 5th place. I'm hoping they'll just go backwards a little bit for the rest of the Grand Prix. So if you guys have just watched my live stream and now you're watching the Grand Prix, then shout out to you. That's major kudos. I'm actually recording this beforehand, so I'm technically telling the future, but who cares about that right now? Hope you enjoyed the live stream anyway, but of course we will be trying to do more live streams more on. But back to the action unfolding. I just wanted to get that out of the way with because I think it's rather funny and cool. So back to the action. Turn 12, turn 13, nice and tight apexes there. Very imperative to do that properly, because of course if you touch the rumble strip or go a little bit wide, you can really compromise your entire race by making a big mistake in those corners. So the left hand side for turn 15, pretty good so far. I have got a plan when it comes to the fuel consumption. My plan always is stay in power setting 2 as long as possible. Stay in power setting 2 and only change to power setting 3 when you really need it. And I'm talking when a rider comes up behind you and starts giving you a bit of pressure, starts giving you the big don't argues, then use your power setting 3. But if you don't have to use power setting 3, stay in power setting 2, use the same feeling, because of course the acceleration changes when you use power setting 3. You've got to be that little bit more smoother and more gentle with the acceleration. So my advice to you, and what I do myself, is I stay in power setting 2 until I'm happy and confident that I will need to change to power setting 3. We're going under the TSO bridge now, down by 0.2 of a second to our previous best lap time of a 1:31.297, which is actually a fantastic lap time, which is good enough, but almost good enough for pole position in the qualifying just 4 hours ago. We're going on to the right hand side for turn 9 and then Tramonto for turn 10. Still a 1.2 second lead to Miguel Oliveira and Brad Binder, more than enough for the rest of this Grand Prix, but just keep an eye on the gap, because who knows what's going to happen. I did look into this one and I was thinking, okay, we lost a bit of time here in the 4th sector. We just need to then be extra strong going into the 1st, 2nd and 3rd sector. It's all about little itty bits, just bite-sized chunks, just taking bits off opposed to looking at the whole big picture. Right now, our only focus is to keep that gap over a second. Keep it anywhere near a second and we're alright. Let it slide down to about 0.6 of a second, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, then we're in for a bad time. And that's of course by then you would have used your power setting 3. Now my lap time so far haven't been as consistent as I would have wanted to, still very similar around the pace of a 1:31.7. I think that's going to be the benchmark from this point forwards. We were very quick to get off the line and just try and get into the 1st position and start chucking out those fast lap times. And we did manage the 1:31.297, which I'm very pleased with. But now it's a case of just focusing on the task at hand. There's not much action for me to commentate on. It's a different one for me so far. I don't particularly like these ones as much because there's not much for me to talk about and to chat about and to commentate about, but for the time being, duty calls to a more relaxed commentary approach here today. And of course, lap 5 of 9, still plenty of laps in this one. Who knows what's going to happen? Oliveira, Binder, Zarco Bagnaia, anything could happen in MotoGP 21. Sometimes the riders just go absolutely mental and decide to just completely thrash it and make life a misery for you. We've seen it in Johan Zarco back in Jerez early on in the season, where he just thought, you know what, no more games, Matt, let me beat you. And he did exactly that. And of course, we have dug down deep this season, and this is going to be a huge victory if we can maintain this speed and also stay on board the motorcycle. I guess that is the most important part when competing in this wonderful World Championship. As we go into turn 15, of course, the aptly called corner, turn 16 for Misano. Beautifully done. A little bit wide there. We might end up touching the rumble strip on the way out, but I'm a little bit concerned with the front tyres right-hand side. A little bit worse for wear for me. I need to be a bit more smooth on that one. That is the compromise you use when you actually use the larger brake disc, which of course is brake disc 13 inches opposed to be the 120mm or 12 inches to some of the other different measurements in the game. We're going into turn 4 for Rio and then turn 5. Nice and tight to the apex, then flick it to the left hand side for turn 6 and then bring on the power once again. Front tyre is looking not too bad, it could be a little bit better, but the rear tyre looks pretty good for me so far, so I'm very confident we can maintain this sort of speed and pace to the end of the Grand Prix, and of course, most importantly, we should be able to stay on board the motorcycle. So guys, of course, as well, let me know in the comment section below, just because I want to see what you guys want to say about it, what you think about it. But when you like to race, do you like the pressure from behind, or do you like to be the chaser, the person who is pushing that pressure on and really biting at the ankles and just chomping at the bit? Or do you like to be the one who's in control, being Lorenzo style at the front, chucking out metronomical laps? How do you feel about that one? Personally, for me, I feel more comfortable being in second position and doing the pursuing. I do find when I get to the front positions I tend to make a little bit of mistakes, I start overthinking and just lose concentration a little bit, and I hope it doesn't happen today. I'm trying to make sure we get the job done here today in Misano. We're going into the Misano corner, of course, and across the line we will go. It's going to be a 1:31.9, so 2/10 of a second deviation over the past couple of laps. Pretty good consistency so far. That very fast lap of a 1:31.297 is yet to be beaten, and I very much doubt it will be beaten because we just went out like a bat out of hell. Absolutely brilliant performance so far for the man on board the Aprilia. Don't want to jinx myself because, of course, who knows what's going to happen in this season. Everything has gone pretty crazy and wild. Of course, I still think the best part of the season was the Austria Grand Prix. Beating Johann Zarco there at the last lap was unbelievably satisfying, especially how competitive and dominant he's been all season long. He's been unbelievable. As we go into Querchen, I've just noticed a rather large gap in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen there between the top probably 8 or 10 riders to the rest of them. Something has happened between them, and there is now a bit of a gap forming. There's a Moto3 train behind me, and there's a Moto3 train behind, even further behind the other gap, just a little bit further behind on the track. We're going to the right-hand side for Cavone. Very difficult corner to navigate and to get right. It's one of those ones you have to be extremely brave and you have to be confident in your ability to make that corner at certain speeds. We're going to the right-hand side for Caro. Wonderful tight corner. I love that corner. I think it's a very satisfying one. You can brake very hard there, and the bike sort of just sticks there. It's like glue, and it's like off camber as well sometimes. And brilliant. I really like that corner. I really love Misano, and I think my love for Misano and my passion for Misano is certainly showing in my performance here today. But we have dipped into the 1:31.8 now. That's the first time we've seen the presence of an 8 on that formation on the sense of the tenths. Of course, 1:31.8, 1:31.9, 31.7, 31.7. Very consistent lap times for the past couple of laps, and this is a very confident race for us so far. This is going to be a very, very important victory as long as we stay on it, stay focused. 25 points in the bag. Not so much for Zarco, not so much for Bagnaia. We're getting closer to that World Championship position. It's to say that we are in the running for a World Championship after starting in Qatar and being so bad. Oh my goodness, it's so relieving. I was genuinely concerned we would have to spend like 2 or 3 seasons doing this Aprilia just to try and get competitive. Of course, I don't know what I'm going to do about next season because all the offers are on the table. Aprilia are likely to re-sign me once again for another year. I've had offers from other teams as well, but not the ones I really wanted. Sadly, only 2 factory offers available, Aprilia and factory Ducati. But I was rather looking to do a Yamaha or a Suzuki. I've never actually done a season on a Suzuki, I don't believe, so I'm keen to try that. But I would really like to see if we can get KTM to the top level, or maybe even just get Yamaha back to where they should be, maybe on the Petronas SRT Yamaha. That sounds very exciting as well, but I'm not sure yet, and I don't know if I'm going to have a break after MotoGP 21, or if I'm going to continue. No idea, but for the time being, I just want to mention something, just so you guys are kind of in the loop. But another consistent lap there, 1:31.858 coming in for the man who's currently in first position in this Grand Prix, and it looks like we're going for the triple. We are going for the Moto3 victory, the Moto2 victory, and the MotoGP victory in this wonderful track here in San Marino. So this is going to be one heck of a celebration after this one. I'm going to be very, very pleased. I'm sure we had a stunning live stream and everything went well. And now, of course, a Grand Prix victory, which would just top off the weekend with an absolute banger of a style. I'll tell you what's so good, I think I'll order a curry this weekend. If I probably mentioned that in the live stream, then I've probably already bought it right now and dining and tucking in. But whether it's going to be happening or I'm going to get a takeaway or not, I'm definitely going to be celebrating this performance because I think it's well deserved. So going a bit wide actually in Tremonto there, thinking about the curry, thinking about the excitement of ordering things. I think a little bit of a mistake has just took a second away from us. That was a massive mistake coming into Tremonto, and that's a great shame because our lap times were super consistent to that point. And now that mistake has been made, a little bit shook up, a bit Elvis style. We need to now sort of get back into the composure and get back into the grips. And I tell you what, Miguel Oliveira's down between 0.4 of a second and 0.6 of a second. A little bit of a slap on the wrist moment for me as I've just scared myself and every other single YouTube subscriber of mine, almost 2,000 at this point. But don't you worry guys, we're going to get the triple, the Moto3 victory, the Moto2 victory, and now the MotoGP victory here in Misano on the Aprilia. So as the recap says, Grant wins with Miguel Oliveira and Brad Binder finishing on the podium. Johann Zarco 4th and 5th respectively, still earning themselves some pretty good championship points. So we'll look at the championship standings and things have changed. Pecco Bagnaia now only trails by 7 points and Grant trails by just 17 points. This is brewing up pretty nicely for a wonderful, wonderful finale showdown. So looking at the team championships now, Pecco Bagnaya's and Jack Miller's Factory Ducati team still leading by 33 points ahead of Pramac Racing, and Aprilia Racing in third position by trailing by 84 points. Looking at the Constructors' Championship, Ducati well and truly have got that one signed, sealed and delivered, so I guess that's probably much. I keep saying it'll be the last time we're seeing it, but it probably isn't. But there you go, Aprilia moving up into second spot after a stunning victory from Matt Grant. So another podium celebration for that man on your screens right now. What a wonderful rookie season we are having. And yes, we are still rookies. That is still a thing. The Moto2 World Champion is doing extremely well this season. No wonders why Aprilia are happy to re-sign us for another couple of years. But for me, I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. But all that really matters is we're only trailing by 17 points in the World Championship right now as things stand. So let's go to the podium to celebrate in style. Once again, I'm gagging for that Carver. Bring it on. Or the Prosecco. What is it in this game? I'm not sure. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe if you did. And if you really enjoyed that button, and if you really want to see more Dot Race content, hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single Dot Race upload. And upon that point, I'll leave you with the rest of the podium celebration. And that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dr. Race video.